Tell me about your involvement with exotic pop before we even get too into this, because we are probably the biggest distributor or the biggest sales of or the sales point for exotic pop in California. But I guess you guys are repping that hard out there too.
Yeah, I'm the brand ambassador.
Fire.
Yeah, so I get paid great money and
To represent.
to make sure everybody know about it.
How long you been doing that?
It's been about officially three months.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Yeah, I had no idea that a lot of the Houston legends are wrapped up with exotic pop when we started selling it. And then fucking I saw Paul Wall repost me with the case out there, and I'm like, oh shit. Then you walked in with it. I'm like, oh, it's really going down.
Yeah, I got my whole back seat is filled up with these and Canada Dry vanilla creams and like my favorites.
You got moon rocks in that blunt?
Yeah.
It smells like it. And I could see with the dark ass. Oh yeah, that thing is burning.
Yeah, I'm having the time of my life.
Is the moon rocks for you kind of a California thing, or are you smoking those when you're back home too?
It depends on the mood. You know, I'm more of a flower guy, but little wax here and there. But I don't do the dabs. Like, it's too strong. I don't want to be that. You know what I mean?
That's futuristic shit.
Yeah,
that's
like
the Jetsons.
I'll put some wax in the blunt and on the, outside. But yeah,
Right. Yeah,
occasionally.
That's futuristic level shit. Whenever I see people taking dabs, you're getting too high. I don't need to be that high.
Me neither.
I'm high enough off the backwood, no problem.
Right, and that's cool.
Definitely. So okay, let's just like go all the way back to your early days. So you were actually born in Houston?
Correct.
Okay, so you're a lifelong ambassador, and you still live within the city limits?
I am still in Harris County.
You never see yourself leaving?
I'm always on the road, so I'm always gone most of the time. So I live on the road, I live home. It's half and half.
Right.
Yeah.
What was tell us a little bit about your upbringing and just what it was like for you as a young boy before you even got in the rap game or anything?
Well, in my family, everybody do music. So my grandma, she the choir director. She played the piano. Mm-hmm. So if you born in my family, you go be in the choir. Mm-hmm. You go sing, you go do something. So I played the drums, piano, and doing the talent shows and, battle rapping. And then, one of my family members sings with In Vogue.
Really?
And, so I've always been like around in the studios, playing the piano. So
right.
Sports, music.
Those are the two primary focal points?
Correct.
Definitely. So was the battle rap thing a real serious thing for you? Because when they try to like summarize your career, they're like, oh, at first he was a battle rap legend. Like how far did you actually go with that? How'd you get into that?
Like when you freestyle, you know what I mean? Like down where I'm from, down south, we battle off the top of the head. You know what I mean? We don't memorize the lines, so.
These days shit is crazy if you watch battle raps.
I fuck with it. Like I love it. I'm going to one of the battles in Houston in a few days on June 8th. I fuck with Hollow the Don. I fuck with Disaster. That's my guy.
Disaster I had in here, man. That's my guy, insane character. He is so funny.
Yeah. Disaster, Hollow the Don, Murder Moot, Loaded Lux, Zip 'em Up. Man, I love it.
But at that time, your mentality towards battling was more just showing up and just shitting on somebody off the top of your head. Yeah. It wasn't like now where there's these calculated game plans of just there's so much thought that goes into it, and everybody wants to hit on all the different styles of battling. I'm good. Morning Moon Rock, I don't know.
Straight up. But yeah. So with the battle, like we freestyle off the top of the head, like, what you got on, your appearance, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it wasn't like premeditated. Yeah.
I remember probably like the gnarliest thing I ever seen in a battle online was I seen a girl pull out a picture of the other girl that she was battling's bed. She had this super bummy ass bed, and you could just tell that it hurt her feelings real bad when it came out because you're just looking at this bed like, holy fuck, that really is. That's a flagrant thing to pull out here right now. You ever been over somebody's house and they just got a disgusting room?
Yeah. You kind of walk right in and walk right out like, yeah.
Yeah. It says a lot if you live like that.
It does.
Myself, I had a girlfriend for like 3 years, so now I'm like completely embedded with the cleanliness aspect, where I never really was before, to be honest. My bed was always on the floor for a long ass time.
Hey, it don't matter. It don't matter where that motherfucker start at. It's where you end at.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And if you end up on the floor, hey, it's because you want to be there.
Yeah.
Sometimes I do some of the shit, that I started off doing at the beginning of my career. You know what I mean? So going to places, where I used to record at, and sometimes you just want to capture that feeling. You know what I mean? So yeah, I get it.
Put the bed back on the ground.
Fuck it.
I never really even understood what the bed was doing there. Like with the having the whole bed and shit, it just never really made sense to me. It's like, why do I need a big wooden structure to put this shit on when it could just go on the ground?
You only need what you think you need.
How deep do you get into the battle thing before you sort of transition into being more of a established rapper?
I probably had good 200, something like that, battles. You know what I mean? It was heavy. Like we would meet up. Everybody put, money up, You probably had this one guy and he got like 5 of, his people. Yeah, my guy, Code, and we got 5 people. Okay, well, all y'all put up 200, you know what I mean? And put up the 200, you know what I mean? Put the pot up. All right, we battling for this, you know what I mean? So the people who put the money up, like, we win, so the people who put the money up, they get their money back and then I get the other money.
It sounds like it would just be so difficult to come to any kind of conclusion about who won and like actually handing over the money. Did that shit get complicated quite often?
A couple of times it did, but like my mind is so quick. Like you know how you fuck somebody up so bad till they know they got fucked up.
Yeah.
And they life just, soul just goes out of their body.
Right.
Yeah.
With the battle shit now, they don't even announce who the winner is.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So strange.
I don't like that. And another thing I don't like the fact how sometimes it's popular, like meaning like the popularity, like if one of the people have more people in the crowd,
yeah.
if they're louder, they could just sit there and boo your bars. You probably spitting the dopest shit, but because you don't have more people. So I think it needs to be judged half and half, like half of what the crowd thinks and kind of like half of what some judges think.
Right, because I've seen it where dudes will show up with a fucking army of 20 dudes with them, and the dudes are all hooting and hollering, like booing, and really like trying to skew the result and make it seem like one person is getting booed, like one person is doing horrible, but really they're just surrounded by so many people that they're kind of trying to drown out the actual results.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. When did you make like a conscious decision at a certain point to be like, I'm gonna leave all that shit behind and I'm gonna get more into this like real rap thing, or did it just sort of slowly happen to you?
I'm just a person. I do it all. Spears, it led me to meeting DJ Screw and C-Note and the Botany Boys. It wasn't a choice. Like I'm gonna just stop, doing basketball. Like the money started coming, the fame, the way people treated me, just to go from, like I always got into clubs, like I've never paid to get in the club ever in my life because I always
you were one of those young dudes who was just super tapped in and had all these connections early on.
Right, so I was in the club when I was a kid.
Yeah. People like me, you're the type of person that made somebody like me when I was a young person feel kind of insecure because I was looking at like listening to the radio and watching videos and just being like, how the fuck are all these dudes so cool? They're like the same age as me. I ain't got shit going on.
I understand, man. I apologize for doing that to you.
It's all right.
But guess what? You cool.
Just barely.
Nah, you cool,
We're both cool because we got exotic pop.
True. This is a heavy show, though, I know about the show. And, all the people that, fuck with y'all and support, man. So I hear everything. That's one thing about me, from the new artists, the new shows, the new podcasts. Like, I stay in tune with everything that's going on.
Yeah.
And, y'all heavy.
Because nobody ever really falls off until they really stop paying attention to the culture. That's my opinion, is that, like, when somebody just becomes too cool to really give a fuck about what's going on in rap, I think that's when it starts to slow down. But you always hear that about even the legends who are the most ducked off, the people you never hear from. You always end up hearing that those are dudes who are really paying close attention to the culture and what's going on.
Yeah, it's some people that don't. They got tunnel vision.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then, it's us. We pay attention. You gotta know what your competition doing. You gotta know what you competing up against.
Was Screw the first person that you met of any like real significance who wanted to work with you or whatever, or was that at what point did you meet him and how did that change things?
Well, I hung with all the OGs in the Screwed Up clique, so meeting Screw, it opened me up to a whole different fan base on the mixtape market. You know what I mean? Then at the time I was messing with South Park Mexican too, right? So, my Mexican fan base and Hispanic fan base is crazy. You know what I mean?
So all that combined with the battle rap shit as well. You had hella fan bases coming together.
Right. And then sports. And then my family, they, ride horses and rodeo. So we would promote our music there too, like during the trail rides, right? So I just had like all these different elements going. I'm hooping, playing basketball, baseball, football, I boxed. I'm a 3rd-degree black belt in Taekwondo.
Really?
I do jujitsu, all that shit. So like with all that going on, like I've been trained and conditioned to be a leader in baseball, football, all these different sports.
Right.
So, hey, I'm the same way in life.
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know you had a martial arts background. They got to get you on Joe Rogan.
Hey, you never know.
Services available.
But I manage like boxers and MMA fighters, and you know what I mean. Shout out to Tony Wynn, man, my homie. He got commercials with Chuck Norris and shit like that, man. And shout out to FA, man, the plug hooking this up for me, man. Believe that.
Oh, for real? Yeah. Okay, that makes sense then. Okay, but so tell me about the first time that you actually met Screw, because he was super enthusiastic about you from super early on, correct?
Correct. I met him multiple times. We had this little place called Cornbreads in Houston where all the vampires, the people that's up, late night, me included. We would be out, we go shoot pool, whatever, hang out, parking lot, smoke, drink, whatever, congregate.
Right.
And he would see me a few times and everybody tell him about me, so told him about me. So he's like, man, I want you to freestyle for me. It was this club called Club Unique. He wanted me to freestyle, so I did 2 of them for him, and I was just rapping about, what I was watching and what he had on. And next thing I know, he invited me over. 2 Screw tapes. I actually have 3 tapes, but one of them, somebody who rapped on it, they didn't like their part, so we never put it out. But I went the fuck off on that tape, and I was that tape when it came out, because I was, man, yeah. So it's all good. But yeah, so he noticed me, put me in those tapes, and I started doing freestyles, people paying me to freestyle at their clubs. So I'm leaving. I left a show, did my high school graduation, walked across the, stage, class of 99 Worthing, Green and Go. Yeah. And so I walked, did that, boom, and then went to another show. You know what I mean? So, I'm everywhere.
So you were already up in there.
Yeah.
Do you always just have like an insane level of energy? Because when you're describing all these different pastimes you had, it just seems like, wow, like that sounds like the lives of like 10 different people combined.
Yeah, I've lived many lives. Right now I'm on the bonus level.
Right. Because you already kind of accomplished what you really were trying to do with your life years ago.
A gold album. I just wanted one.
Okay.
That's it.
And once you get that thing you're going for, it can be kind of a weird moment in your life, because then you're like, well, now I got to figure out some new goals.
Yeah. And then, so it went from that to platinum, obviously. Then, wanted to sell 10 million and 3 million triple, stuff like that. And other goals was like Oscars and Grammys and, you know what I mean?
Right.
A mixture of those things and a few other things. But now my final goal is to get $1 billion.
$1 billion?
Yeah.
Really? Because Jay-Z just made history.
Yeah, congrats to Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That's what he's supposed to do.
That's wild.
You know what I mean? That's what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, and he's not even, like, Dr. Dre being the first billionaire would be logically kind of make more sense since he owns the whole Beats by Dre thing and shit, but we underestimate Sean Carter having a whole lot of business going on behind the scenes as well.
Well, a lot of people did. I'm glad I wasn't one of those people. I learned a lot from Jay-Z. Like
Really?
people like Jay Prince, Jay-Z, Master P, Tony Draper, Cash Money's, Diddy's, like all those people, even the people that, ran Duck Down Records.
Right.
And I'm a piece of all those people. I study.
Yeah, you seem like you're the type of person who was very much studying the game, so you kind of had a whole lot of game sort of embedded in you even when you were real young.
Correct.
You've been paying attention.
I got to, man. You know, majority of the people I hung with was older. Like, I wasn't into like going, you know, skating and like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, at the age where you want to, everybody's, let's go to the skating rink. Like, I'm in the studio. I
You're
learned how
already
to
in that
engineer.
environment.
Yeah, I'm getting paid, you know, $50 an hour recording legends.
What was your thought process on Screw before you actually got in with him? Like, was he established enough, and did you understand how legendary he was?
Oh, yeah. He was like a god to us in real life. It was epic.
Was there like a level of growing up that took place in a sense, because there's all these insane stories about him and the drugs and just the long studio sessions and everything. You being so young, was that something that was a little bit new to you, or were you already experienced enough that this didn't take you by surprise?
Nah, nothing was new to me. I was exposed to everything young, and people explained to me what it was. You know how some parents try to hide things from you, and like, you know, so it's a way you got to, you know, try to reach out to your kids and explain to them, you know, this is what it is, blah, 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 blah. Because you rather them learn from you than somebody outside the household teach them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, yeah, this is what I was, you know, born into.
Right. When you were hanging out with Screw, when you were doing that first tape, were you drinking lean? Were you partying to the extent that he was?
Nah, I didn't go as hard as he went. Like he had, at that time, he had like, his money was like, you know what I mean?
Selling tapes out the house, right? Just a couple of dollars at a time.
He could afford to, you know, pull a 4 and a 20 ounce. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, yeah, nah, we wasn't going that hard. But I mean, he would pull you a cup here and there. You know what I'm saying? Let you hit his cup. Hey, hit this. You know what I mean?
Did you like it as much as he seemed to like it?
Back then, no.
No.
Not, like when I first met him, no, I didn't. But then I grew to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So how did you get your first record deal after that Screw thing? Like, how far apart were those incidents?
Well, that's the thing. I put out albums on my own first. You know what I mean? Then I met up with my old business partner, Hump, and then he had Sucker Free Entertainment. And when we met, I'm like, hey, man, let's turn it to a record label. So that's when it turned to Sucker Free Records.
Okay, so you were putting out a bunch of stuff independently and just
Correct.
hustling it out of the trunk, that type of thing?
Yeah, because I met Hump, I met him like middle school, but I really didn't do any business with him until like high school, like 5 years later. You know what I mean?
But so okay, you do all that and then you start to get labels' attention?
Correct. Yeah, once I do that, I'm on mixtapes, I'm freestyling. I'm going to 97.9 The Box. I'm going hard, freestyling, you know, just everywhere.
Did you see yourself becoming like a major national star, or were you still sort of in the mind state of just doing your thing on a more local Texas level? Because you can fully stay in that environment and be a star on that level, and especially at that time, people weren't necessarily looking at stuff from down south as stuff that could blow up on a huge level, right?
Correct. I didn't look at myself like anything, but I did look at myself in a way to be like, I know what I didn't want to be. Like, I didn't know exactly what I was going to be, but I knew I didn't want to be local. I knew I didn't want to make the exact same mistakes other people did. I knew I didn't want to rap like everybody else. You know what I mean? I knew I wanted to still embody the Texas culture within my music, but still, you know, show that we got people that are lyrical. You know what I mean? Because like where I'm from and down south, you know, the quote and the stigma is that, you know, down south artists aren't lyricists and we can't spit. So I make sure every time I drop a project, I balance, you know, with my culture, the screwheads, the people that want to hear bars, and then the ladies, and then whatever the hell I want to make. My creative EDM, you know, DJ Marshmello, DJ Snake.
That's where
DJ
your mind is
Seth.
at?
Yeah, I do EDM.
Right.
Yeah, I was touring with Marshmello, and I fuck with, you know, Clint Sparks.
But that's interesting to hear you say like that is like the main thing that your creativity tends to go towards.
Mine?
Yeah, the EDM type stuff. Is that like really like that's sort of your passion at this moment, or where you think that progression has taken place?
I do them all. Like I've been doing EDM. Like I got an artist that I partnered up with. His name's Critchy Critch. He's out here now in LA. And he like, I knew about like house music, techno, and EDM, but like he made me look at music a different way. Like everybody I meet, like let's say for instance, me doing music with David Banner, like we from Texas, we laid back, Me doing business and music and tours with David Banner and his energy, it showed me a different angle for me to be a performer, right? So, I've witnessed Busta Rhymes and DMX's, these great performers, performing. So it just put me in a different mind frame, man. And
in terms of like what a live performance could be, because sometimes, let's just be real, sometimes rap just doesn't really translate as well to the live experience. Like we've all seen great rappers who realistically weren't really putting on that great a show, and maybe the show is still dope because the audience is so into it,
right?
But without the audience, they're barely moving and they're not really getting into it, and there's not really a whole lot going on.
Correct.
Yeah,
that happens all the time.
Were you sort of out to, do you feel like you were kind of trying to disprove that assumption about the South, that y'all weren't like serious rappers?
Correct. That's been my motivation for most of my career. Like when I do an album, in my mind I'm like, all right, I got to make something for, because I got family and people that's in New York, right? So I know what they like and what they listen to and who they, idolize and who they consider to be the top rappers and blah blah blah. So I pay attention and I go in the lab like, yeah, this was my homie from the Bronx. I'm finna, you know what I mean? I already know he go hit his beat, you know what I mean? So I go into that zone and then I cook up and it comes out naturally.
Definitely. And it's weird how that assumption about the South has kind of gone away over the years, because like I was just listening to this whole podcast about Megan Thee Stallion the other day, and talking about how her mom was this rapper and how her mom like influenced her so much to be real serious about her lyricism and stuff. And I don't think at any point during that conversation anybody was like, oh yeah, but the assumption is that people from down south can't rap or whatever. Like that has kind of washed away to the point that that's not an assumption that anybody's making, I don't think.
It's still around, but it's not around as much, but it's still in the comment bars.
Oh, you still see it in the comments?
Yeah.
I guess you're privy to different types of bullshit out there.
Yeah. I glance here and there, but I try not to. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, that'll drive you crazy if you keep paying attention there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
You gotta have tunnel vision, man. Do what you do. Create your art. If you proud of that shit, put it out.
You just don't want to be the kind of, like, I know certain old heads that I'm not going to mention, but they just don't seem to understand how Instagram works. They respond to all the haters and shit. And it's like, bro, you do not need to be doing that, because you're just revving them up to talk more shit.
Yeah, man, we don't participate in that shit.
Yeah.
Nigga will block your ass. Matumbo, not in my house. Quick. Like, I don't tolerate that shit on my shit. Like,
right. Like on your Instagram, it's kind of like, how are you coming into my area right here?
Yeah.
It's different on Twitter, because it's like on Twitter, anybody can not be following you and post something that is like retweeting you and talking shit about you, but you don't have any actual involvement in it. They're putting it on their Twitter. If they're going to talk shit in your comments on your Instagram, that is really the feeling is like they just came to your house and are just standing out in the front yard talking shit.
Yeah. Yeah, people be bored, man. I ain't got time for that shit, man. You need to be trying to figure out how to get some more money for your family, man. So I just stay out of people's business.
Definitely. So what your first record that you put out, or let's talk about the decision to even sign to a major in the first place. What do you recall that time period in your life, and were you just 100% ready to go on that front?
Yeah, definitely. It was time, like, making money in the streets and off of music, like when you in the streets and you making bread like fast and it's way less than what you would get to go do a show, you know what I mean? You kind of you don't be as fast to move for it, but when somebody coming to you talking about like M's, you know what I mean, 20s and 30s, and it shifts your focus into like, okay, all right, let's really do it, because I had enough money to shoot videos to every record I had in my life, but I wasn't in that mind frame. I was like, hey man, we making money, you know what I mean? They still booking us, you know what I mean? So I felt it was time to, see what the fuss is about with being attached to a brand, a label with all these contacts, you know what I mean? And we traveled around the world and we had our own. So now let's combine their contacts with ours and get paid and still hustle like we don't have them.
Who did you sign to out the gate?
Columbia.
Right.
And then Steve Rifkin left. Shout out to Steve Rifkin. He the one signed us, man. They had Akon on my tour, like, bro, before he like blew the fuck up. Like,
really?
Yeah, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I wish I would have did more music or did music with him. I liked this shit though. That Locked Up shit was dope.
Oh yeah.
But I was like doing so much shit, man. But you know, and he ended up fucking with signing Lady Gaga.
Signing Lady
T-Pain,
Gaga.
and
He's rich forever off that.
yeah, that's dope though. But I knew he was jamming though. So, you know, shout out to Akon,
Shout out to Akon. I was supposed to have an Akon interview a while back.
Akon, man, come on,
Where
man.
you at?
Do it, man. Do it for my guy.
We need that love, yeah. Facts. Did you feel like Columbia were respectful of what you were bringing to the table, or did you feel like to an extent they were trying to shape you and mold you into something that you weren't necessarily comfortable with?
Nah, man, like Steve, he knew the culture. He appreciated everything and he knew it. You know, he walked like us, talked like it didn't feel like I was partnering up with somebody, you know, with a tie who never go to the hood, you know, who hires people to go, hey, find out what's going on. Like, you know, he'll go, you know what I mean? Like, and that meant a lot to me. So, you know, they just let me be me. You know, I had creative control. It was a label deal. I didn't do an artist deal. So, you know, creative control, you know.
I always think about that when I'm dealing with labels. I always think about that Wu-Tang lyric, and he said, who's your A&R, a mountain climber who plays an electric guitar. I remember being a little kid hearing that and being like, wow, like there's really people who like work in the rap industry who don't know anything about rap. And then when you go to labels, you realize like, oh, that's actually probably the majority of people that work at labels.
Yeah, man. But things changing, man. People, you know, the right people are getting in position, and the game has did a 180.
You feel like that?
Yeah.
In what sense?
With the streams,
Right.
instead of people buying stuff, and now streams are counted as like, you know, sales.
Yeah. It's more of like a connection to what is actually popular. Like it's harder for the label to shove something down the public's throat now. When we talk about the rappers, like when you look at the XXL covers, it kind of went from, if you look at the early years, it was kind of like these are the artists that the labels want to pop off. And then nowadays it's kind of like, well, these are the artists who were already kind of popping off, and then the labels had to jump on top of them and give them a whole bunch of money to sign them.
Yeah.
It's like a little bit of a change in how that shit takes place.
I agree.
Yeah. So you get on the label and your first project comes out, and are you all of a sudden just this like global superstar and your whole profile just explodes and everything is just all of a sudden way different?
Yeah. Yeah, it was epic. Yeah.
And so you're just on this roller coaster ride, or are you just all of a sudden on tour just living like a completely different life? How'd it go?
My life didn't change, just how much I was getting paid off of rap. But I still was like getting street money. Like I'm programmed to hustle, right? So it just took me to, you know, get enough rap money and be like, you know what, man, this is looking like I'm tripping. You know what I mean? Like so once I focused and said, all right, we finna go in, and I just started, you know, doing other business deals and linking up with other producers, and, you know, rest in peace to Static, you know, he out there, you know what I'm saying? He born out there in the Kentucky area, man, Louisville. And I met him, Young Sears, and I started putting together me a team and, you know, getting my army. I signed Lil Ron. He was with the Swisher House. He had a record that had that drink up in my cup, and he on there. And when I talked to his mom, like, hey, man, I believe in your son. I want to take him out of school, get him a tutor. She was like, all right, cool. So I was 18 or 19, 20, you know, I ain't never did that, you know, before, but
19 making boss moves.
Yeah, I did it, and I was getting my team ready. Then I had Young Red, and, you know, we did the HSC. So I always, you know, execute my plans with thoughts of the people who looked out for me in the wing figuring out a way to bring them in.
Right. When you say street money, you mean that you were really in the streets, or were you just selling your albums on the streets?
Both.
Right. But was it a big deal to decide that you needed to leave that shit behind?
Yeah, it was a big deal.
Really? Were there people who were disappointed in you?
A few, but I always try to surround myself with people who think like me.
Right.
And I believe, like, if you have a convo with somebody and tell them, hey, you know, if you like blindside a person, like, hey, man.
We've been doing business together, but I'm out.
Yeah, today.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, hey, this is my mind frame. I'm on this, blah, blah, blah. You know.
Definitely.
Bonito.
Was it a weird transition where all of a sudden, I feel like for somebody like you who's coming from such a real place, that all of a sudden they're taking you and they're putting you in front of all these different, like, you know, media opportunities. You got all these people who basically just don't understand where you're coming from at all. And you're just being put under this lens where they're sort of analyzing you, and all the things that you think are kind of normal about yourself are all of a sudden this like funny little gimmick to them.
It didn't happen like that for me because when I got my deal, I was already going to all pretty much all the places they had me going to. I was going to those places and already kind of like dealing with a lot of the media. So it wasn't like a jump. And then you got to remember, my family members do music, right? So I know the games and the things that, you know, the way media twists things, and you got to be careful what you say, you feel me? And one of the best things I can say about when I did go to Columbia, they had me take media training.
Oh, you did it. How was that?
Even though I knew what to do already, but
Right.
me taking it made me, see, that's the thing about when you learn from different teachers, you get to, because you might have somebody be like, you know, man, this is the way you're supposed to do it. This is the only way. And then somebody else train you and they're like, this is the only way. So then in your mind, you're like, damn, well, he told me, you know what I mean? So, you know.
Damn, the media training. That's a fucking wild thing to actually go through. I've like heard about it so much, and I've always been curious about what they actually tell you in that shit.
Epic shit, and that's the dope part about it. Like, I put a book out called Don't Let the Music Industry Fool You probably 8 years ago.
Oh, that was 8 years now.
Yeah.
Okay.
We about to do like these workshops, like me and Miss Jessie over there, that's my business partner. We do a lot of dope shit. So like, we about to do these workshops where we go around the world and we go have it where they can spend hours with us and we go talk to them. We go offer, you know, media training, and I paint too, so I'll be painting with some of the people. But
Really?
we go give them like a real platform so they know what to look for. Because a lot of artists still to this day is like, you know, sign me. Like you can sign yourself. It ain't hard.
Do you see that? Yeah, that's a weird thing that has happened where it's like artists don't really need labels now, but it's still a prevalent mentality that you need to be signed if you really want to do anything.
Man, you can spend your own money on yourself, run your Facebook ads, your Twitter ads, and different things, and you ain't got to go by the red bottoms. You can, you know, we'll show you, man. Just holler at us. You know, we will consult with you. And we ain't on no try to hit you upside the head. Like, our prices go be reasonable, but our connects up here. So, you know, it got to make sense, but yeah.
Do you ever think about what your career might have been like if you had stayed independent?
Nah, because I knew, like, some of the tricks to the game already by, you know, my other family members being in it.
Right.
So I was pretty much well prepared by my family for what to look for. So I was always taught it's a time to play a wolf and it's a time to be a sheep. So if any situation a person saw me in and they considered me being a sheep in that moment, it was all calculated.
Right. No, that is a weird feeling for a lot of people. I feel like even myself, my first time I signed a record deal and was really working with a label, it's like, damn, this is the first time in my whole life that I really feel like I had a job. Not my whole life, but since I was a kid. You know? Like, really feel like you're actually just going into some office and just having to, like, talk to people and shit. I just had never really had to have that kind of mentality, flip that switch of just feeling like I'm an employee all of a sudden. And I guess for a lot of rappers, that's really where the conflict starts with the labels, that they're just not used to acting like, you know, a person that has to get along with others, that has to be able to make shit work in that sense. Yeah,
man, it's big business, man. You just gotta watch it, everybody. micro and macro manage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like as an East Coast kid that you were part of like this huge movement too, because if you really think about it, and like I think Outkast got booed at the Source Awards in maybe 98 or 99. And then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 years later, we had like, you know, a huge wave of Texas rappers and down south rappers coming out. And all of a sudden, the disrespect that Outkast had been shown in that situation felt like a distant memory. Like that was kind of that last blast of elitism from New York, of feeling like people down south didn't matter. And then all of a sudden, that kind of culminated 4 or 5 years later. We had people like you and Paul Wall and Slim Thug, everybody just sort of like having this mainstream moment that had not really been something that people could have imagined even just a few years prior.
Yeah, that was an epic moment.
And you were one of the faces of that, of like really changing shit.
Yeah.
But did it feel like that?
It did. It felt like that. But I never like took time to like bask in it. Like, you know, I did this. Like in my mind, I'm like, all right, it's time to do another one. All right, that's one plaque. We need more.
In that moment, you never really know exactly how important or how significant what you're doing is. You never know that 20 years later, people are still going to be talking about the shit that you were doing at that moment.
Yeah. And so as you realize what's going on, it makes you grow. You know what I mean? And you can tell it even in my music. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I feel like also as like an East Coast kid that when you did collabs with Dipset and G Unit, that was like a big moment that not just me but everybody that I was around, that's when like you started to get on the radar of like the average person that I was familiar with, who realistically that's what we were listening to.
Yeah.
You know?
I was talking about that the other day.
Which one?
No, just the era of when I was, because you know, like I told you, the stigma of down south artists can't spit. So in my mind, I'm like, all right, I'm finna go to New York. I'm finna go rap with the best. I'm the Camrons, you know, Dipsets, you know, 50, whoever, you know what I mean? And DJ Who Kid.
Shout out Who Kid.
DJ Red Alert. Who else show love like at the beginning? Clue, Bunk Flex, K Slay, can't forget K. Like all those people, you know what I mean? They really fucked with me in a genuine way. And so, you know, we would do it. Duke the God, shout out to Duke the God. I'm on a few of his albums.
Man, me and Duke the God got so fucking drunk one time. Like, we tried to do an interview and we just got fucking
Free
loaded.
Jewels, man. Free Jewels. I fuck with Jewels, man. Jewels hard, man. Like Jewels got bars. I fuck with that monster music.
Right.
That's my favorite Jewels record.
Jewels, like, at that time, I feel like he was a person that was sort of observing the more simple style of rapping or the more slowed down style of rapping that was largely coming from down south. And then he sort of didn't bite that, but sort of took on some of those characteristics, because people forget that Jewels, when he came out, he was like the wild ass, swaggy little motherfucker that like, he was rapping in such a way that a lot of people really didn't respect it because it was just so new and different.
Like it was unorthodox.
Totally.
But I fucked with it, boy. We like people that are entertainers, like as a kid, like, you know, young, like a lot of us, you know what I mean? We kind of root for the other ones. When you see, it's like when you put a kid in a music video and the record might be not even appropriate for them, but if you put kids in a music video, when the kids see other kids on TV, they're like, man, he can do it. They're gonna run to the TV like, that's one of us. Like, you know what I mean? So, hey, you know, when I see artists like that, you know, with that swag, the jewelry, you know what I mean? Hey, that's one of us.
Yeah. That was like, there's been certain times, I remember I was interviewing Rico Reckless one time. He's sitting here with his son, and his son is watching music videos the whole time we're doing the interview, and he's watching Lil Pump, Maddox, Lil Skies, you know, just all these little rappers. Every TK, just rappers who to him felt like they had that youthful energy that he could relate to them. And it's just a kind of wild thing to realize like how important that is. And when you see songs on YouTube or whatever that do hundreds of millions of views, chances are that they tapped into the young ass audience too, because those are the ones who just sit there camped out in front of the TV just watching something 100 times.
Yeah, facts.
Okay, so yeah, do you recall actually like working with Camron for the first time, or what that might have been like?
Yeah, Camron always been one of my favorite rappers. Like I think he went to college, like in Navarro County, Corsicana. He talked about it on one of his albums.
Right.
I think it's the Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment.
Sports, Drugs, and Entertainment.
Yeah,
Okay.
he got that record. He talked about it. But yeah, let me think. First time we did records, man. I was in New York, and then we went to like a show. I think he had a show, and then we left, went to the studio, and you know that's back when everybody was smoking Dutches, and I'm like, man, where the Swishers, bro? Like we smoked, you know what I mean? They were so strong. I'm like, bro, but I was smoking them like fuck it, you know. But yeah, it was dope. We knocked out. I think the first record me and him did was what mixtape he put that shit on? Push your pistols to Clover G's and Dipset.
We could probably figure it out.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. And I was jamming this like 2 fucking weeks ago.
We could probably figure it out with a quick Google. We got to do this.
If you rapping, you rhyme, nigga. I say everybody wanna be Pac until they really get shot.
Oh yeah. Hustle Hard featuring Lil Flip, Camron. Is that what you're thinking of?
That's the
Bust Your Guns.
Bust Your Guns was the first one. Like I say, everybody wanna be Pac until they really get shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys had a couple of classics. It's so weird when you go on YouTube and even see 10 years ago. And it was longer than that.
Yeah.
2009?
Hustle Hard was the second record we did. Like I'm trying to think if we did these all in one day. I think we had 2 different sessions or whatever. And then one time we did a show together somewhere in Ohio back when he had that club. And I think we catch each other on, on the road, Source Awards.
I mean, you guys were both like 2 of the hottest new young dudes coming out. So it must have been like a wild combined energy at that time.
And the dope part about it is, like, I'm not just a new Camron fan, right? I'm a Camron fan from back in the Children of the Corn days when he was rapping with Big L.
Right.
Like, Big L is one of my favorite rappers. My favorite Big L record is Ebonics.
Really?
Ah, man, he killed it.
That's a classic one. Even though none of that slang must have been anything that you were used to saying at that time, right?
Not me, but I heard it.
Yeah.
Because I have family in New York, so
right.
They would come to Texas and be like, yo, son. We'd be like, I'm not your son. You know what I mean? Like, why you keep calling me that, bro? Like,
growing up, a son was what a cop would call you.
Man.
Come here, son.
Man.
That wasn't something you called your friends.
Yeah.
But then that just became a thing at a certain point. Okay, so at what point did Screw pass away, like in terms of your career, and what was your observation of that at that time when that hit?
That was like an interesting day. Pretty much, I just remember getting up. I think I was headed to the distribution company that put our music out. And I'm riding. And on the way there, I pick up my phone. And it's his number on my phone, like on the screen. Like your phone pressing. And it just, I'm like, oh. But I just looked at it like, oh, shit, let me move. Hit the button so it don't call him. Then we go do the meeting. We come out. My ex-business partner, he got a phone call. It was like, yeah, Screw kicked the bucket. And I'm like, huh? So it didn't really hit me. Then he said, nah, he did. I'm like, huh? And so I was just like, all right. Like, I dealt with death so many times that when it happened, you're like, all right, shit, that's fucked up. Like, you know what I mean? And then once I get alone, then I think about it, digest, and be like, okay, yeah, this is crazy. But it don't hit me much or as hard because I'm always like touring. You know what I mean?
If you're moving that fast, I've had that same exact experience where if someone passes, but you're so wrapped up in what you're doing at that moment that it just takes time for you to even realize how you really feel about losing that person.
And not even that, it more so, it trains you to kind of, keep on doing what you do because you condition your mind. If you're a busy person in your mind already, you're used to not seeing those people a lot, right? So in my mind, a lot of these people are like, they're at home, right? And I'm just busy.
Right.
You feel what I mean?
You're not going to be seeing them anyway every day, so.
But, on their birthdays and, Instagram posts, and then like my grandpa, rest in peace to Robert Harris. I got his obituary. It's like on my sun visor, and then I got Big T. Rest in peace to Big T. I got his over my other one.
Okay.
So it's like they ride with me, and then I got this little house that I painted, and it got R.I.P. Big T, and sentimental shit like that.
Right.
Yeah. So at my career though, I just wanted to give you the story of how that day happened. I was go accidentally call him, and then when I leave a meeting, walk out, he died.
Right.
Crazy. But
did that cause you to sort of reflect on your lifestyle, or like all the things that seem so normal that you came up doing?
Oh yeah. Everybody was like, okay, yeah, we gotta slow down. We gotta party less, train, work out. Eat what you want, but still have your days where you know what I mean. You know what I mean. You gotta balance it, because some people, everything don't work for the same people. Like some people live their life every day. Like I'm not gonna eat meat. I'm gonna and do what you do. That might work for you.
Right.
And some people live long. Hell, they might eat bad for 3 days of the week, and the other 4 days, So do what works for you. So I came up with a plan that works for me, and I'm still.
So you've been like aware of fitness and health and everything from a younger age?
Yeah, got to, man.
I mean, you're in pretty good shape, yeah.
Thank you.
Compared to a lot of people from your generation who got big old pot bellies and shit.
Thank you, man. I work out, man. I still look the same as I looked.
Pretty much.
From the game over days, Vampires don't age, man.
That's a good way to age yourself extra fast, is if all of a sudden you look like a real fat version of the dude who put out the song like a couple years ago. All of a sudden you look like a funny version of that.
Man.
Then the kids are not going to be able to think of you the same.
No, I know. I know.
So what do you do for exercise at this point? You're in the gym?
Box. I have a gym at home.
Oh, okay.
But sometimes I do go train with my fighters and stuff like that. Lift, curls, run, swim, box, hike. We be pushing them big ass tires, trench work. I mix it up. I don't overdo it. Like I want to be there every day pushing tires. No, I have it all scheduled out.
Oh, you got a schedule?
Yeah, because I got to still perform. So I be on stage. Sometimes like.
You hold it together?
2 hours, 3 hours.
2 or 3 hour sets?
Yeah. Because sometimes I DJ.
Oh yeah.
Like right after. So.
Wow.
That's
crazy. Do you don't have a hard time holding it together in terms of working out when you're on the road and shit? Because that's something I could work out 4, 5, 6 days a week, no problem. As soon as I'm on the road, it's like maybe out of a week I'll drag myself to that hotel gym once.
Nah, I just make time. Fuck it. I make time for everything else. So I'm gonna just, even if I just go in there and do like 100 curls or 30. At least I know, okay, well, I didn't let today go by and I didn't do something. So
right.
I just got myself disciplined in a way, that works for me, so I can do what I do. And one thing that I do, you might want to try it. It might work for you, it might not. One thing I do, I set my dumbbells, I set them out around my house. So I got one in the kitchen. It's on the counter. I don't give a fuck if a person walk in and be like, hey, why is it on the counter? Because I wanted it. It's my kingdom. But anyway.
But is it just a reminder to you?
No, it's a reminder, and then it's a motivator, right? So it's one in the kitchen, and then it's one like right by my jacuzzi. So when I walk in, my thing is I can't walk past it 5 times without going to do it. So if I walk past it 5 times, I'm like, all right, got to do some curls.
Right.
So I just got my mind trained to, put little hints and different things to make things, fun and, stimulate my mind. So, because if you leave it up to yourself after you smoke backwoods and drink and you chilling, ain't good, I don't want to go to the gym.
Yeah.
But as you walking through your house, going whatever to the door, whatever, you see the way, like, fuck, I walked by 5 times.
Yeah. I love weed, but that's the one thing that sometimes occurs to me is like, if I wasn't smoking weed, I'll probably be catching workouts at 2 a.m.
Straight up.
Like I would just be able to find that motivation. I was thinking that last night. I get home, I start rolling the wood right away. And I had been thinking previously in the day, I'm like, I'm going to get on that bike. I'm going to do a half hour when I get home. I get home, nope, rolling the wood.
Yeah. That's why you got to trick yourself sometimes. Sometimes you have to be just like they say, we are worst enemy. So sometimes you got to be your best hero. You got to trick yourself into doing the right things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I try to like set up incentives in my mind where it's like I'm not gonna let myself play video games or like do
Right.
something that if I'm really fiending to like play this video game or something, I
Right.
got a desire. It's like in my head, it's like no, you gotta, or even you know what? I try to not shower unless I work out first. I still will do it, but it's like I like that mentality because then it's like if I wake up in the morning, it's like, oh, I just want to take a shower. It's like, nah, you're not taking a shower unless you get a workout in. And that mentality
See?
will make me work out way more often.
Well, see, you got a system that works for you. And that's dope. That's dope.
A little something.
I need one of those shirts too, bro. I just
I
want
got
to let you know.
We got all kinds of shit over
I
here.
fuck with that.
Oh yeah, no problem. Of course.
I wear black 300 days out of the year, so.
What the fuck are you doing 65 days out of the year? Floral shirts and shit?
Nah, but if I'm in that mood, maybe. But I don't own a floral shirt. I mean, unless you consider rose. You know, I have a shirt with a few roses, so that's floral. I own one or two.
I'm kind of like getting to the point where I feel like I gotta dress more in accordance with what I'm doing. Like if it's a nice spring day and you're just like going out for brunch, but I'm wearing like tight black jeans and a black t-shirt, like the same way I dress every other fucking day, I'm just like, this does not feel like an appropriate look. And I'm looking around at everybody else. Everybody else wearing earth tones and shit, and like I'm just all black, and I'm just like, I feel like the goth kid in high school. Like I'm trying to look like a bad kid.
Got it.
You know. But what you're just married to wearing all black? It just feels right?
A lot of my family members Black Panthers.
Oh,
so,
okay.
You know, like I say, my upbringing was a lot different. You know, Grandpa was in the military. Great grandpa and grandmother, beauticians, musicians, fighters, boxers, shooters, Black Panthers, businessmen and women.
That's what's up.
Athletes.
Just excellence overall. Damn. I seen you have a thing called like hashtag arts over drugs.
Correct.
Where did that motivation come from? Like, did you start looking at your career at a certain point and be like, you know, I feel like I need to do something that's more explicitly positive?
I just felt like I wanted to always come up with a program. Like, I went to elementary, like in Houston, it's called River Oaks. That's like the, you know, better part, safer part, you know, more expensive houses, you know, kind of like what Bel Air is to, you know, here. So pretty much, you know, I was learning how to speak different languages, work with computers, act, paint, young, right? So that gave me like an advantage, you know, to know how to direct screenplays and act and work the equipment and hold the camera and, you know, burn trash to make, you know, a smoke effect before we could buy, you know, fog machines. So, you know, me going to that school, it put me in a different mind frame so young. So I just want to kind of give kids an option to learn how to act, paint, as well as play musical instruments and learn how to engineer. You know, because when I was young, I made money running people's studio. Like I would engineer, you know, 10, 11, 12, 13 years old, $50 an hour.
That's crazy.
The studio get 25, I got 25.
Right.
Down the middle.
And if you give kids an option, if you give them something to be motivated with, then that's just the number one thing that's going to keep them away from getting into bad shit.
Correct. Yeah, because at the end of the day, in this world, it's mainly about being, well, money for starters, and then being accepted. And, you know, if you learn the value of money, because like as kids, if we want something from our parents, you know, we used to get mad. You don't love me, blah, 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 I hate you. Like, I never said that, you know, I hate my parents and no shit like that. But, you know, you got mad, though. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part about it, man, when you get older, now you're like, damn. You know, you could work for a check, factor in your bills, like, okay, I'm making this. My bill's that leaves me with this. And then you go fuck around and spend all that on your groceries and keep you $50, and then, bam, somebody hit your fucking car. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Bam, somebody steal your purse.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just dumb shit happen, and you're not prepared for it.
Being prepared is number one. Like you got to have that safety net, that cushion.
Correct. So we just giving them a head start. Like, look, you could be doing this, playing the piano, expressing yourself. You might end up being a musician. You might want to direct movies.
Right.
But we giving you the tools as a kid.
Yeah.
And that's what matters.
A lot of times when you see kids that are just out in the hood, it's like it feels like nobody has ever really given them that knowledge of like you could be passionate about something, you could try something, you could get good at something, you can make money from that. That could be your job. A lot of kids, it's really unfortunate because I feel like you come from an environment where your parents were making it pretty obvious to you that you were special and that you could have talent, that you could do something positive with yourself. Same thing with me. But a lot of kids, their parents apparently just don't really give a shit enough to try to breathe that confidence into them. And then when you see those kids at 17, 18, those are the types of kids that get into drugs. Those are the types that get crazy into the gang shit or just all kinds of shit because they don't have that right in front of them that they could be something bigger than that.
Yeah. Big facts.
You got kids now?
Yeah.
How many?
2 sons.
What ages?
Man, the world may never know.
So you keep that part of your life super low key?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But still pretty young, I'm assuming.
I mean, Hakuna Matata. I tell you off there.
Okay.
Because I fuck with you like that.
I appreciate that.
I operate off energy and vibes, man.
Oh,
and
thank you, man.
energy, I fuck with you, man.
I appreciate
but
that.
We'll have a personal relationship outside this as well, man, and make some moves.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm real curious about your painting because that's something I lost over the years. I used to paint so much when I was in high school and shit, and just sort of over the years sort of strayed away from it.
Man, I used to paint when I was elementary a lot. I always would draw album covers. But I started back painting 2015. I don't know what made me start. I think I got bored. Like I record at such a fast pace. Like I have an album done in like 2 days, 3 days, and be like, okay, what's next? What the fuck do I? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think I just was bored, and I just started back doing like all the cartoon characters that I grew up, watching, and Inspector Gadgets and Nintendo video games, Legend of Zelda, like Mario.
I'm a Zelda fanatic. I love Mario, all that shit.
Yeah, I did like the Simpsons.
Same.
They all glow in the dark. They're like in my wall. Like they all glow in the dark, and the eyes, like when you walk by them, like everybody.
That was like our era of like cartoon characters and shit. All the shit that was popping at that time.
I got them all on the wall.
That's fire.
Yeah, so I do that. Like, and we be going to towns. We do like paint with Flip. Smoke friendly cities and states. We do puff paint with Flip. You know what I mean?
Damn.
But it's crazy, man. They show up, man, and we paint, we talk. I play them the new music. Like I just dropped a new album with this cat out of St. Louis named E.J. Carter.
Okay.
We got a record called Propane. I dropped the Clover Nostra, which showcases all the people on Clover Gang. King Shermo and Trap Frost. They got the Cold Hearted Kings album. And then we got Amir. I got a crazy guitar player. He's crazy with it.
Okay. How do you end up running as a talent at this point? Is it through working in studios and shit or just through your friends?
Man, I know people that know people. I kept majority of the relationships that I felt were worth keeping around. You know what I mean? And I can pick up the phone and, get you on the phone with whoever.
Uh-huh.
And I don't take it for granted. So I meet people everywhere, but for the majority of it, I try to stick with the people I know that's gonna come through. But I still, often dibble and dabble with giving somebody new an opportunity.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? I just believe in, shuffling up the deck a little bit. You know what I mean? Each album, I work with a new producer, Yeah, so I try to give that new cat that chance and be like, hey, come over here, let's cook up, you know what I mean? And sometimes people need that little boost, like, damn, I grew up watching you and you know about me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could be the defining moment in their career.
Mm-hmm.
They might have been at the road of like, man, I ain't doing this shit no more. And then Flip tells you, like with E.J. Carter, like he wasn't gonna quit music, but this is a perfect example of how I met E.J. Carter. I was supposed to do the record with him. I told the people that was working with him, I'll do it. I told him my fee. I don't know what happened. It never happened. A year later, I'm riding. I'm going through my email, and I'm like, wait a minute. Propane. I remember this record, Propane. Oh, fuck. Man, I remember this verse. His verse, second verse, I'm like, man, I remember that verse was hard as fuck. I'm like, I called my partner, Chauncey Cloud, out there in the Kansas City area. I'm like, hey, man, get me on the phone with E.J. Carter. He called him. He had his family dinner table. Hey, what's going on? We having dinner, man, but you flip, He like, hey, man. I'm like, look, bro, this record dope. The world need to hear it. I don't know what happened. We didn't do it. I don't know if it was about the money. But fuck the money. I'm going to do the record free. The world needs to hear you because dude can rap his ass off. He rap, sing, make beats, direct video. Like, I'm on anybody you see next to me, they have multiple tasks. Like, we on some the Avengers shit meets Transformers meets Voltron meets Blade.
Right.
All in one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Damn, I got to hear this song.
Yeah, Propane. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy. It's one of my favorite records. Like that's what I'm on now. I'm on the Propane tour.
Okay.
Me, E.J. Carter, Trap Frost, King Shermo.
That's fine.
Yeah. We out there.
What's a Lil Flip show like these days? Who comes out?
Man, it depends on what area I'm in, but because I got members, Clover G members all around the world.
Right.
Usually, if I'm in the 4 to 8 hour radius of them, they go pull up. But if I tell them to pull up, and it's 100 hours, they go pull up. But so but like lately, it's Flip, E.J. Carter, Boss Talk, King Shermo, Trap Frost, and we've been killing it. And like every time I do a show, I start my show with a freestyle. We go through the classics. I reassess their brains and remind them. I'm on like 5,000 albums. Like,
right.
I will go down in the history as the artist that collaborated with the most people.
Yeah, I heard you saying that in a different interview.
I literally do probably 15 verses a week.
Really?
Yeah, in real life.
It must have come so natural to you at this point.
Yeah. It's what I do.
Yeah, that's what you do well.
Thank you, man.
Okay. Two official questions I have written down here. Actually, maybe 3. So
Okay.
I wrote my initial notes to interview you like over a year ago when we were first supposed to do this interview. And I'm not sure exactly what I was going to ask, but one of the things just says Trump. What are your thoughts on Trump?
I have no thoughts on him. Like, no comment. Yeah.
Have you been outspoken about your disliking his presidency?
Not really. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I kind of feel like, at the end of the day, somebody is a human being. I'm just not in the business of trying to tear anybody down, whether I like what they're doing or not. You know what I'm saying? So I just kind of like
stay out of politics.
Yeah, I kind of just stay away from it. But I feel how I feel. I don't agree with shit that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like the Hispanic people. You know what I'm saying? They do a lot for our country. I fuck with them. So if they here, they need to be here with their families. That's just me.
How do you feel about the wall? You're over there. You're not so far away from where the wall might be.
Man, the only wall we need is Paul Wall, man.
Shut up, Paul Wall.
It is.
What's your relationship with him like at this point? You ever talk?
Yeah. We was together at Johnny Dang. At his store, we presented Johnny Dang with a cooler.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like
of exotic pop.
Yeah, at his jewelry store. Yeah, on Richmond. I was trying to think of the street, Richmond. Yeah, in Houston. So, YB J Mighty was there.
Oh, okay.
Maxo Cream came.
Shout out Maxo Cream.
J Mac from the box, and a few people came through. I didn't see everybody. Oh, Zero came. Shout out
Zero.
Fire.
Only person I ever interviewed who had me buy him like an $80 bottle of scotch before we did the interview.
For real?
Yeah, I got sent to the supermarket to buy this.
Rotha was,
this was years ago.
Rotha was drinking the scotch, man. Hold up, man. We doing Kings of the South too.
Oh, really?
Me and Zero. We doing part 2. We got like 5 records. Hey, this shit is like phenomenal. Like,
wow.
Like in real life.
That's exciting. When's the last time you poured up?
About 40 minutes ago.
40 minutes ago. So that's dirty right there?
Hey.
I don't know enough about my our products that we're selling.
Yeety.
You hear that hitting the ice?
Yes, sir. And I do have a valid prescription.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're checking for that too hard out here.
I just, sometimes you got to let people know because people look up to us and, I'm the one that made this shit cool. The double cups and the screwed up click, you know what I mean? So, you gotta let people know when you elevate, so they needed to know.
Have you always been a person that was really good with like balance? You seem like you were able to do so many things at once throughout your career that there's no way that you were ever like fully just fucked up off drink, right?
Man, I'm just dope with it, bro.
You got that balance now?
You have to. My job is to make words rhyme and come up with witty shit, and whether you high, sober, you know what I mean. So it's to me it's an easy job, but it's also because it's so easy. It can be easy of you to take it for granted. Is what I'm saying. Like I don't take it for granted. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's a time to smoke. It's a time to party. It's a time to drink. But man, for me, it's money time. It's business time. It's close the deal in the shortest amount of time, in the most respectful way, without wasting each other's time. You know what I mean? And me showing you I'm gonna do more than what the contract say, and then you go on to do more business with me. You know what I mean? So you just got to balance your life out, man. Life always been about balance, like playing quarterback, the point guard, kicker, punter, safety, running back. Boxing. All these things are mine things. So like I think like a fucking quarterback, center field. I play center field when I play baseball. I'm thinking from all the angles, the equalizer.
You got to be able to play your position.
Yeah, positions. With a Z.
With a Z.
Yeah, because I got so many.
That kind of went away at a certain point. Is I remember like rap albums when you go look at the back of them and there would be no S's. Everything would be a Z. A lot of creative spelling on the back of albums. And it feels like when shit drops on iTunes now, they want you to be able to search for it the way it's supposed to be spelled. So they're gonna spell it the right way because they want you to be able to find that shit on iTunes.
Man, I remember them days.
We need more creative misspellings, man. That was a good era.
I do it. I still do it. My dad asked me one day, he like, man, it's funny as fuck. He like, why you spell your records different? Why the songs, you make it hard for people to find? Why do you do that? I'm like, bro, I'm like, when people going left and going right, man, I'm going straight. Like, so I just put out a record called I'm Just Venting, and I spelled it all in one word. It's just like, I'm just venting. Yeah.
You still got your dad?
Yeah.
How's he doing?
Great.
What's he like these days? Lifestyle
Laid
wise?
back. Same.
Chill Southern gentleman. What we're probably expecting in our head.
Yeah, he laid back, looking out for my grandma, and just being the best dad, you know what I mean? I get a lot of advice from him before I make certain decisions in my mind. Most people, they be like, what would Jesus do? You know what I'm saying? I say, what would my dad do?
You always had a relationship that strong?
Mm-hmm. You see my socks. I got on socks that say Jesus.
I love Jesus all over the socks. There we go. And you got some Vans with some fucking Japanese writing all over them?
Yeah, man.
The drip don't stop.
I love Jesus socks on, man. But what was your question? What'd you say?
Something about your dad. I don't know. The Moonrocks are getting to me too, I think.
Straight up. It's all good.
Hey, oh yeah, the other question. Will Spinners ever make a comeback?
Man.
They could kind of use it, right? Like, I feel like the time is probably right.
Somebody walked up to my car yesterday and was like, you spin, right? Yeah, I was like, nah. I'm like, nah.
It's been a while, man.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, bro, we got shoes coming out that look like Dr. Scholl's orthopedic shoes that are in style now. Like a lot of these, like, Balenciagas and, the weird, the new style trend with Shoes look like Legos.
But
Some of them be dope as fuck.
The
but
trend is like to make it as ugly as possible,
Yes.
and then it's still somehow cool.
But like, bro, it's crazy. You never know what people go like. And my dad always put this in my mind. He like, man, son, don't ever have a closed mind. You never know, because it'll be times he might cut his hair. You know what I'm saying? He might fuck it up. And I'd be like, man, you fucked it up in the back. He like, I don't care. He say, somebody might see my haircut and be like, I like that. I want this to be the style. I don't care. So he like taught me to like stay humble and humble myself into being like, if you put something on and you like it, fuck how somebody else feel about it. You know what I mean?
Your dad sounds like a real rapper, because that's a very rapper thing to do, is to take something that's considered by everybody to be corny or weird or lame and then just present it in a different light.
Yep.
I heard Joe Budden say that on his podcast the other day. He said Jay-Z, his whole career, has held back and not said shit about whatever he was thinking about talking about. And then he dropped a song where he spoke on everything you wanted him to talk about and basically told you, like, all that shit you think is hot is actually lame.
Yeah, Jay been preaching to us and talking to us through his music all the time, man. And some people just like the beats, Some people repeat the words and don't even realize, what they actually saying. Like, you got to really break down the music, man.
Very true. We're all working on our first billion.
Hey, damn right.
You might have one tucked away. We don't know how many albums you sold out the trunk back in the day.
When I get $1 billion, I'm gonna throw a party and I'm gonna let you help set that bitch up.
Shit, I got you. I know a couple girls.
I plan to have one within 5 years.
Really?
Yeah, I just did this deal, bro. Like, I got my own live TV streaming out, you know what I'm saying? And my own network as well.
That's the future. Technology.
Flip TV. It'll be out like later this June.
FlipTV.com/Adam22.
Let's talk about it, some business, man.
Let's do it.
I'm about to fuck shit up.
I'm ready.
I'm about to bring back, like, what TV was missing, like what we loved about BET and what we loved about MTV and what we loved about the show that used to come on back in the days out here called a Music Box. Like how you can vote and shit,
right?
For the new record to come on, and by the time the end of the video come on, this one had the most votes, and like fan, where your fans can actually, like, we about to bring back content, man. And I partnered up with a lot of comedians and stuff, like, Jeff Shelley, Michael Blackson, comedian Shannon, 39 Cents, like we about to fuck shit up, man. Like, what you looking at, what I plan to do is what the Wayans family did,
right?
With films and stuff and bringing their family members in. So now the world is about to see my directorial, my director side, because like the Game Over, Sunshine, like I wrote those treatments and helped direct those.
Right.
Like, I don't just let a cameraman be like, put me in front of a car in the club and take my 30 grand.
Yeah.
No. I direct my own videos, got my own cameras, I edit, Avid, Final Cut, Vegas. Like, every job I pay somebody to do, I can do.
Damn, you edit.
I record myself.
I'm always so impressed when people can edit.
I mix my own music.
Oh, that's hard too.
Yeah.
I could probably edit a video. I could definitely edit a video. I'm not saying it would be great, but I could definitely edit the video. But whenever one time I seen somebody like had a video of 6ix9ine, and he's just all of a sudden he's in front of a fucking computer and he's editing video, and I'm like, wow, all right. I know he's got a disgraced reputation at this point, but I was pretty impressed that he was editing his own video, because that shows that he just really 100% gave a fuck about how he was presenting himself.
Hey, artists, take time to do it. Take time to learn how to do any job you pay somebody to do, because it's a lot of artists, man, if they manager leave them, they ain't gonna know how to do nothing. You can't just get caught up in just being a rapper, man. And if you just want to be a rapper, make sure you got somebody trustworthy. So that's why what we go do with this Don't Let the Music Industry Fool You whole movement, like, we go give artists, what they want and what they need. Like, hey, what do you need? Are you an artist, a people person that like to talk to people? Or are you an artist you just want to show up and get your bag? You tell us what kind of artist you are, we figure it out. All right, this is who we go put you in touch with. They gonna handle all your blah, blah, blah. This is their resume, their track record. You feel me? We vouch for them. Good luck. If you need us, you can't get in touch with them. Blah, blah, blah. So we go be putting people in the right positions and with the right people so they can get what they want. And they go get it done the right way.
That's a beautiful thing. I feel like we sort of drilled down into the personality of Lil Flip as just being like an extremely creative, open-minded person. I don't know if any like interviews that I saw prior to this necessarily like communicated that as well as I feel like I now understand. You just have a very open mind and very creative spirit.
Gotta be.
Facts.
Gotta be. You know, especially if you want to enjoy life. You know what I mean?
Facts.
I love being creative. I fucks with it. And I love seeing other people that's creative. I root for them.
It's taking you far. It'll take you far in life if you got a love for that creativity, because you never know what's gonna hit.
Mm-hmm.
Facts.
Big facts. Big facts.
All right. Well, hey man, I appreciate you coming in and doing this. This is a very, very enjoyable conversation.
Not a problem, man.
Got anything you want to say to the people out there?
I appreciate the love and support, man. Get the Cone Heads album out. It's out right now. Who we got on there? We got Snoop Dogg. We got Devin the Dude on it.
Shout out to Bearwoods.
Thank you.
Flip light one up right now.
Straight up. Russian Cream.
You already know.
Bearwoods.
The glass tip, the black glass tip. That looks expensive when you got the black glass on there.
Yep. Hey, but yeah, man. We love y'all, man. To all the fans, I see y'all. Propane tour. Check out the Propane video. I'll be coming to your town very soon. Painting with Flip. Just follow me on Instagram and I'll give y'all the details. Lil Flip 713. Appreciate No Jumper having me, man.
Appreciate you, man.
I represent that exotic pop.
Same.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you, G.
Yiddy.
No Jumper, coolest podcast in the world. Check us out on YouTube, SoundCloud, iTunes.
Oh, yeah. You know what we forgot to do?
What?
I forgot to give him a freestyle.
Oh, shit. Sounds like a great way to go out.
I don't have to have a beat, but let's pull a beat up on the phone. Just something.
Any beat come to mind? Lil Flip type beat?
My type is all beats. I have no style.
All right. I'm going to find something cool right here.
Yeah. And you can switch the motherfuckers up, too, if you want.
Let's just do a fucking random-ass type beat. Let's do Playboy Cardi type beat.
Walla Beats.
Put it over here. That way it's closer to me. Chilling in the studio, living in a gangster paradise like Coolio. I'm trying to get it lit up. I keep my cup double cup when I sit up. You know I'm representing H-Town. We had pounds on the Greyhound. Now we trapping out the mega bus, and you ain't shit if you ain't never been screwed up. Put my drink in the freezer, now it's a cool cup. I'm in the 4 with 2 sluts. H-Town where I come from, we got Dracos, put away that stun gun. 25 lighters on my dresser, yes sir. You ain't smoking gas like a Tesla, I bet you. And your trunk ain't got no thumpers. I seen you on the court, you ain't got no jumper. It's H-Time, baby. And I move around with the tray pound, baby. Yeah. Sipping on this scissor, swinging by the kids herb, serve rappers like hors d'oeuvres. This a freestyle partner, I ain't write shit. I'ma smoke a 7, nigga, that's a Mike Vick.
Ooh.
Smoking on the bare wood. A glass wood with the glass tip and that motherfucker black. I put some swangers on my lack. I sip codeine, not yak, but milk does a body good. Don't get my life misunderstood, you don't know what I've been through. I see a rapper, we do a song together. I figure he's on the menu. Eat the verse up, then I'm gone. Chunk the deuce and text me or email me when you wanna do another song. Everywhere I go, you know I'm strapped up. I say the brick mummified cause it's wrapped up. You can't name one nigga who slapped us. Man, this a chapter that you would never figure out. I got thoughts in my brain and it's time for me to get them out, spit them out. AK sticking out. Play with my cash and then I'm flipping out, pun intended. Rest in peace to Big Pun. I'm highly recommended. I get you suspended. And everywhere I go, I'm trying all the shrimp. Rest in peace to Soldier Slim. I like it when the beat break down. This freestyle is like a Chuck Liddell takedown. And this is Homer. Your bitch called me, I got a boner. And now we chillin'. Yesterday I was watching the show Brewster's Millions with Richard Pryor. I never been a liar. Can you fire that hoe back up cause it's running out the fire? And all of I acquired was the money, the millions. 5 years I bet I have $1 billion, then $1 trillion. Man, I'ma make sure my whole team straight. They kids. Translate from Houston all the way to Russia. End of discussion. H-time, baby. I love that shit. 20 inches, they smile. Don't rub that shit. I used to ride on spinners. I'm still a winner. Far from a beginner. Never been a pretender. If I said it, I meant it. I paid for it. The pink slip is mine, not rented. But if you rent, that's cool. If you lease, that's cool. Hell, do whatever the fuck works best for you. Don't let nobody control you. And if you got things you going through, text me. If I ain't busy, I'll try to console you. Give me one more.
Yo, that's that flow.
Yeah.
Classic fucking flow right there, bro.
Give me one more and then,
That was a beautiful thing.
I gotta make sure this night is epic, you know what I mean? I don't be in Cali as much as I should be, so I gotta make sure I leave y'all with
You can rap over any beat.
Trillmatic, all I want is gold.
This beat got a cool vibe. I hit this bitch 2 times. For some reason, man, it ain't hitting. Can we fire up a different one? Shit, while I'm spitting, I'm trying to smoke a blunt. No jumper, man. You know I gotta do it, huh? I gotta kick a freestyle that make him go crazy. I'm about to get $1 billion like Jay-Z. Yep, nigga, you know we weeded. Yesterday I went to the store, undefeated. They gave me this shirt, they gave me this hat. DJ Screw, man, we finally got some plaques. I told my hood I'ma bring it back. Yo shit cut, we go bring them crack. A1 Yola, from the west to the east coast. I need scrambled eggs and I need toast. About 2 rapes and 3 ghosts. And I'm like 3-4. Pulling out the 30. My high school, they retire in my jersey. Basketball, baseball, football star. Pulled up $300,000 car. Rafe, man, yeah, put them diamonds in your face, man. I pull that K, man, you should just break dance, spin around, jump off the wall like Peter Parker. I'm from H-Town, water dripping, no snorkel. Dripping sauce like my partner Sauce Walker. I'm from H-Town, we be down in Austin, TJ Jury, that's my partner. Get my drink from the doctor, move around with them choppers. Got fur coats like Chewbacca, smoke weed with the rosters. My bodyguard ain't Kevin Costner. Nigga, this a freestyle, baby. You forgot what Flip did, you must be senile, baby. Everything straight? Everything cool? Like BG said, nigga, it's all on you. Check on the car, make sure they don't tow my shit. H-Time, you know I rep the screwed up click. I freestyle while giving messages in my flows. The man right here, but I ain't mystical. I made $100 million, bitch, I'ma get some more. Get the cash, do the show, and then I'm getting low. Chilling at the back cave, you call yours a man cave. I'm not a slave. This a freestyle, everything crunk. I'ma pour codeine in the punch. We mix the shit up with the double cup, and you ain't shit if you ain't never been screwed up. Hurricane Harvey came, then we won the motherfucking World Series. You can't knock us down, yeah, champs now. Take 'em to camp now, like my partner Jim Jones, I'ma take 'em to vamp now. Vampire life shit, yeah, I'm back on this bullshit. Half a tank of gas, rolling with a full clip, watching MASH on my soldier shit, nigga, 2 guns up. And yeah, I got my holsters, and I got 25 lighters on the motherfucking dresser for smoking. Some of my niggas blood, some of them locan. I'm the boss in Spanish, my nigga, I'm El Jefe. I'm from Houston, bitch, we get our work from the essays. I run the borders, dodger like Tommy Lasorda. Give me something else, man. my number 3. So
That's why you legendary as fuck. All right.
Oh, Dice, that's my guy. I didn't know what you were saying. Because I was rapping. Yeah, let Dice in. Yeah, that's my nigga.
I thought they were saying your car got towed or some shit.
That's my guy. Tell him come in. Yeah, I couldn't hear. I was freestyling.
I'm like, Dice solo.
Oh, see, you said solo.
Oh, yeah,
That's what,
Dice is here? Oh, okay.
my
I didn't
nigga
realize what you were
Dice
talking
just
about.
pulled up in that shit nice. Flip, what you go do? Mix Sprites. That's my nigga named Dice. I was freestyling, I didn't hear the name Dice, but when she said Dice Solo, I'm Dice Soho. You
we
know
still
how
pull up in 2 doors, might pull up 4 doors. With my boy Adam and my boy Flip. Pull up a deuce and just sip.
We go
Exotic.
sip, pop, for H-Town, bodies rock. Tops drop. We sipping on that shit. That's my dog, man. We grew up down with the same clique. You know, bad habits, pull up with automatics. Yeah, TV, it ain't fucked up, no static. Here is something I can't understand. I could just kill a man. On the East Coast, man, I fuck with Killer Cam. A nigga cross me, I turn him to Lieutenant Dan. I tried to tell them niggas we ain't fell off. I'm a king, motherfucker. Can't you see we living well off? The rate paid for the Bentley truck, about to get the Rolls truck. I'ma do a lot of shit, nigga. Go get a cold cut, eat some shrimp. Like a pimp, I made 5 mil out there. I paid a lot of bills out there. I built a lot of niggas out of jail. Some of them ain't around, but it's cool. They like Brandy, man. They just wanna be down. You a clown, but you ain't it. You the shit, nah. You get shot, cause you spit like shit, yeah. I'm sitting in the front of the plane, but the back of the bus. You get it? Alright, ain't no need to explain the lifestyle I live. Man, y'all niggas, y'all kids, we go stand up, do the concert, and tell the fans to put their hands up. Before you see me, promoter, he gave them bands up. I'm a Black Panther, my granny beat cancer. You chillin' with a dancer. Like AI, I'm the question and the answer. You go fuck around, make me lady and a tramper. You get tramper. Your paint was cool. You seen my shit, my paint still damper. And everywhere I go, I put it down for Texas. I go to any hood, bitch, I'm gon' rock my necklace. That shit, he go shoot, he ain't go talk. Ain't no questions, you won't walk. Rest in peace out. Oh, look, man.
That was legendary. I appreciate it, man.
Oh, yeah, you know.
We had Wyclef in here, and he did the No Jumper song, but like his version on his acoustic guitar. But I feel like that and what you just did, top performances we ever had on here by far.
Hey, man, you know, I'm about making history, man.
Facts.
You
Shout
know
out
what I
to
mean?
Soho still pulling up on us. That
Yeah,
was a rare appearance.
Pulled up and dropped a quick 8 bar. Yeah, it was
Facts.
400.
Quick four.
So,
Fuck. All right. Hey, I appreciate you. That was epic. That was a great way to end it. I'm glad we didn't just let that go.
me too.
That last one was a Take K type beat for the record.
Was.
Can I get a shout out to my son, who's one of your fans?
What's your son's name?
Rico Hawkins.
Rico Hawkins. Much love. No Jumper. Lil Flip. Clover G's. Road
Yep.
Gang. We out here.
You dig.
Yeah.
You dig.
Yeah,
Thank you, though, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
I had to give you 3, though, man.
No,
like,
that
you know,
was-
most rappers, they come, people want to be cool. They like, you can't call yourself the freestyle king.
Most people come through, can't even get close to one.
Yeah.
It was actually kind of wild to like be like, damn, he just made that look easy as fuck. All right. That
Yep.
being said,
We love y'all.
H-Town.
Exotic Pop. Flip TV coming soon, man. Flip TV. I'm telling you. I'm finna fuck the game up.
No Jumper. Lil Flip. Forever.
We said it at the same time,
Peace.
too. Yiddy.